Guys, welcome to Marquela the Life Speaker, where we help cure those hearts. On today, we are going to be talking about provision. Definitely, we had a lot of provision. The goal plan is actually matching up to the provision on today. Drawing pan is definitely matching up to the provision. All three is matching up together about provision. Provision is definitely a great conversation to talk about because that's what I'm doing currently in this business. It's just visioning where it could go and where it can hit and how that just to see in the eyes here and revealing and showing you what I can do. I'm definitely seeing this program kick off because it's worked for me. My mental health is still ASAP is not, but physically I'm seeing myself. So we just got to match up the universes together because you can be on one you could be okay in one world, but not okay in the other world. So we have to match them both together. And that's where in the provision and Marquela the Life Speaker, where we help cure those hearts, we are showing you what's going on here because in the physical world, you gotta put on your smile. You gotta make sure you work. You gotta make sure. So physically, no one would know there's nothing wrong with me because I got my mask on. I got my mask on right now. We got them on. But provision, the inside of the world is a battle that no one else can go to but you. And so that's the mental health. The mental health definitely needs a lot of cleaning up in the mind. And so that's where I'm going to show you definitely about the provision. So let me go and start and show you the goal plan, which is over there because I was working. Like I said, in the mornings I be gone. Definitely, I'm not even on delay. I'm picked up at the right time because my neighbor, she wanted to show me her new place. Very nice place, beautiful, gorgeous. And stopped by, saw her place, had a little chat and whatever. And so I always talk in the mornings to somebody. I never just go straight in the house. And I noticed that with me. Always there's people who stop me and talk to me. And so I sit there and I talk and I was like, okay. They're like, you got anything to do? I'm like, no. But I really do. I gotta do my Quail Like speaker where we help cure those hearts. So I love to talk to people. I always stop and talk, and that's me. So let me go show you the goal plan. The goal plan on today. Definitely, we're getting our family here in the house together. Definitely. We got a lot of notebooks plotted out. Like I said, goal plan. This is what we've been doing together. This is where we're at. We're actually on going to pretty soon. We're going to get a new notebook. See, but that's why I made sure I had gotten enough notebooks to write. And like I said, my kids have the notebooks too. We are definitely trying our best to get on track in our educational rise because all this material stuff, all this trying to look good and all that stuff is not what we need right now. We need our education, all three of us, to get on the right track because you can't walk in the city and not know what you're doing. Okay? You can look pretty all you want, but at the end of the day, beauty, yeah, it's gorgeous. But you gotta learn. You gotta know what's going on with you, your physical, your all that paperwork or whatever. You gotta know what you're doing. And so Marquela Light Speaker, where we help cure those hearts, provision is a huge vision because she is literally showing you like, okay, you can look cute and all, but that's not what we're doing. We need to focus on our education because that's important. Because if someone leaves and we ain't ready, come on, we got to get ready. So that's why the goal plan is really every day. Marquela Light Speaker, where we help cure those hearts, is helping me. It's helping me. I went to counseling, and sometimes like Miss Miss Clay said, if it's not helping you, go for what's helping you. And so what I did was self-counsel. I took the counsel of what Miss Clay, Miss Sarah, and Miss Tiffany. Yes, we had 3 counselors. I took those 3 and poof, there it is. I made sure that I ended up going ahead and make sure I got it here. Because the mental health is really serious. I'm not playing. It can really cause some health problems if you don't get it fixed. More than anxieties, seizures, that's where it comes from. Seizures come from stress. Another thing is that's that shake in your life because your brain is like, okay, it's too much stuff going on in here. And it's just like a brain freeze. So everything is just freezing. And you get in a total shock here to where the brain's like, it's too much stuff going up in here. I know in physical world you looking good, but in the second world, if they would have seen you take your face off and they seen that, ooh, they'd be like, ooh, girl, that's a hot mess in there. You look cute in a hot mess. That's what happens when it comes to the physical world versus the mental health. Okay, so the mental is serious. And that's where we are now training ourselves to understand how serious it is. Because you can put on your physical face every day. Hello. But when you go into the second world, you're like, oh, girl, you got a little lava stuff going on. You got bombs going on. Everything is showing out. It's going on too much. And you got to make sure you get it together. Seriously. And that's why my Quail the Light Speaker will help care those hearts. Is showing you and revealing you. She's studying and sharing at the same time. She's trying to show you her provision. So today is about provision, which is a great vision. So, number 1, when people is talking upside their mouth, you listen and you hold on to the truth. Okay? Because people will say whatever they want to say, but you the only one that got to walk in your house alone and you got to deal with it. So you got to let them say what they want to say and let them say all them things. But until they enter inside your body, then they will say, you know what, let me shut up. But they ain't going to say that. So you just let them go on here and say all things. And then you do what you got to do. Because a lot of people got this mouth. They talking like me, right? But when we talk, we got some information to share for you. Because we could talk all day long, but you got to have the information and show them what you're doing, okay? So here's the information on my talking. Hold on to the truth. Okay? Go ahead and say what you want to say. Gabba gobble boo boo. But I got the truth. And you can't take that away from me. Okay? So I'm holding on to my truth. I'm always praying. Do I need to show you what I do in my house every day? You see? All these little notes and stuff like this. This is what I do at home. So I'm only revealing what I've been doing at home. And I got more prayers. More. You know what I'm saying? Because I got it. You know what? Speaking of prayers, this go my other prayer box. This is my new one. My new prayer box. You know what I'm saying? Right here. There we go. Prayer box. I'm writing down prayers. Now, do not be discouraged. Yes, don't be discouraged in this. Where you will not fail. You will not fail. No, you won't. You won't fail. You're worth it. You're worth it. An investment in you, you are worth it. Yes, you are. Insecurities. Oh, yeah, I have too many of them. Feeling like I am a horrible parent. Feeling like I'm a horrible person. Feeling like I don't belong. Oh, there's a lot. But look at me. I'm still keep going. I can feel so horrible by myself. But poof, there it is. Physically, world, somebody driving for me. I ain't even driving. It's like a Lyft driver. You know what I'm saying? Physically, somebody is driving while I'm going ahead and pick up my mess. And I told myself, you ain't got no car. I really don't got no car. So if you ain't got no car, who driving for you? The bus or the Lyft or the Uber? So you got to think about it in your life right now. Physically, you know you got to get yourself together. So you pulling yourself to the right way. Even though emotionally you like, oh, hallelujah. You want to be dipped in that water with all that water stuff and that oil stuff. That's what you want to do. Because that's why you talking about Jesus, hallelujah, Jesus, hallelujah, Jesus, hallelujah. Praise God. How about Shabbat Bay? You praising Jesus every day. Because that's how you got to do it. Because after a while, that's all you can say. All you can say is hallelujah. That's all. Because you about to blow somebody up and you don't want to do that. You don't want to be in no orange suit. And you don't want to be in jail. So now you really got to hobba shabba bay. You got to go to church every day. You got to go to church every day. And that's what's going on. That's why my kids be like, Mama, you be in church every day. That's what I do on my Quaylor Life speaker. We make our own church service. We make sure we do what we need to do. We need to have something positive going on. And so when your brain mentally, seriously, mentally, when it gets to you, it gets to you. And you don't be knowing what to do. But all you know is it done got to you in your brain. And if it gets walking upstairs in the brain, you got to see what we doing. Because the brain is very fragile. And I got a borderline, on the borderline 100%. You know what I'm saying? My brain is very fragile. You say something to me, and you can say something. I look good. You know, you see me? I look so good. But in the brain, it won't blow you up. It do. But then it work. It just remain humble. And that's why people like me. I think that's why people love me. Because they look at me like, oh, she is just, let me say whatever I want to say. And she just so gorgeous. I could use her. I could do whatever. This is an amazing thing. I could use that girl. I can take everything I want from this girl. I can just blame with her brain. And little do they know I'm about to blow them up in my brain. Little do they know I'm aware that they're using me. Little do they know I am aware of what they're doing to me. And little do they know they're messing with something. And it's called my mental health. And little do they know if they keep on playing like that, they're going to see me in the hospital. And I've been there a couple of times. I just ain't tell nobody. So, little did they know, the next call they're going to get is Marquela is currently in a mental health hospital. That could have happened. But no, we don't care. Poof, she in the mental health hospital. Oh my God. I wonder how that happened. How did Marquela get in? Oh, maybe I shouldn't have been messing with her too much. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't because you're messing up our mental health. It's serious. They got hospitals for this. And so, and you can get crazy. And that's the reason why I'm doing this every day. Because every day is different. And I don't want to be crazy. I have kids to raise. And I have myself to raise too, with them. So I have me in them to raise. And so I cannot go crazy when I'm trying to raise myself in them. I got a lot to do. So I'm raising myself and I'm raising them. And so I got to make sure I'm on the right track. And if someone's messing with my mental health, and I know they are, and I'm allowing them to mess with it, it can cost my life and theirs too. Because if they see mommy drop dead because she got everybody in her mind, what they gonna do with their mama? A lot of people don't care that you have kids and they think that they can walk all over you. But they better start caring, because if they lose their mommy, the worst thing a person can ever go through is losing a parent, because if someone wants to tamper and continue to tamper with a brain. You better start taking that serious. You don't care, but you better care about what you're doing to this mother. Because if they lose their mom, they have other people, but it's going to break their hearts. I look at it like this. They already had people walking in and out their lives anyways. And then their mom had to remove them because it was too much fights. Provision. When you're seeing that it's too much fights, you're angry, you got too much going on in both areas. So you're moving them. Because you got to make sure you okay and they're okay. It's about you three. You guys are a package. So if you're not okay and they really ain't okay, what are you going to do? You better figure out something, because if people don't care about you or your kids, you got to care about you and your kids. Because a lot of people just see Marquela, the high school girl. But I'm not the high school girl anymore. I am 24 years old. I live on my own. And I'm trying to take care of my girls. And I'm trying to take care of myself. I have to take care of me. I have to take care of me and them. Because if I just sitting there taking care of them and I'm sitting there making sure everything is them, then one day their mama dropping dead and had a massive heart attack because she taking care of all of them. That ain't good. If you can't make sure you okay and you gotta run for your children all day long, that's something wrong with that. That's what happened to my dad. He took care of me, man. Great man. Same thing with my mom. But they was getting sick, and my daddy dropped dead in front of my eyes with a massive heart attack. Provision. I took it really serious to the heart. Seeing my dad drop dead in front of me. And I had to grow up faster than what I thought. And I had to quit things. And that was scary too. It cost me financially to where I had to squeeze things. Still am squeezing. But in this, I became extra independent to where I have to be very careful. I had to. And so, knowing that I had to be really careful in what I was doing, I couldn't play with these things. I couldn't. And that's why doubt. I can't doubt this situation because it's a serious situation. I have to make sure I am okay and they are okay. I have to make sure all three of us have our mask on. It's important. I have to remain on the road. I have to. I am protecting my mental health. I am. Because if I don't get this brain to be where it needs to be, there's a possibility. I'm serious. The kids, they're gorgeous. But there's a possibility their mom could be really in a mental problem. And so she has to get it together. And it takes time for this. Mental health, moving forward. You seen how the laptop went, it went like this. Because moving forward, this is how much it took me. It took me even more. You know how much it took me to move forward? Let me show you something. Let me show you something. People think that it's easy. They think it's easy to move forward from the pain that people have caused you. Do you see these notebooks? You see all that? This is me wrote all that. It's like 11 books right here in my hand. I wrote this. I did that. So when someone say move forward, you got to have the supplies to do that, honey. You got to write and read. You got to do what you got to do. Because moving forward, you got to have some applications to it. You got to have some type of supplies to move forward. Okay? This is how I'm working on it still. It's been since my whole life. But now I'm starting to have some supplies with it to help me release this thing. So I'm going to just put it down over here. So I just want to let y'all know, provision. When someone telling you that you need to let it go because they're tired of hearing you or they're tired of hearing you talking, well, let me tell you something. If you're writing about 12 notebooks, you know it's taking you a minute because God knows you're hurt. Okay? So while you're hurting and while it's taking you time, it's no numbers to it. However long it takes you to move on from the situation, you need to have some supplies every day. And eventually, once you have that supplies to move on from this thing, then you'll be able to continue to go. And you'll probably even smile again because you were able to move on from this thing. But you got to go through the process. And a lot of people forgot about that. A lot of people use things like sex, alcohol, and drugs to think they're going to be stress-free or to think that that's going to help. I was the same way. I hop into bed real quick. But that's not going to help. This is what's going to help. Education. The more educated you are, the more you will understand it. I began to educate myself. I made sure I went to college for 8 weeks, passed the course class, then poof, I had it here. And then I just began to do it from home and educate myself mentally and begin to see if it's working out for me. This business it did work for me. I wrote like no tomorrow. I did my daily journalism. I did 3 devotionals. I read 3 devotionals a day. Then on top of that, I did this goal plan. Then on top of that, I did the drawing plan. Then I got up on here. That's what I do every morning. Why am I doing all this? That's how much it takes to really release this thing. You can move forward in the physical world, but the emotional world is a whole nother level. That's going to take some time. Emotionally. That's why you need to put the good parts in your ear. Good words in your ear. Good things in your ear. Good. If you're feeling kind of weird on this side and it's just too negative, you need to run to the positive. It's no joke. Because what if you drop dead somewhere? Yeah, people are seriously going to care now. Guess what? Because they're going to be in guilt. Oh my God, look how I treated her. Oh my, they're going to notice now. They're going to notice. Oh my God, I should never treated her like that. Oh my God, she's dead. Oh my God. Oh! Now they're in a mental state of mind now because you dropped dead. Seriously. They'll notice you when you drop dead. So take care of yourself now. Take care of you now. Focus on you now. Get up now. Snap out of it right now. We are the next generation. And you have to take your life serious. You have to get where you need to go. And yes, I know you're looking like, whoa, that girl. Yes, because that's what I do at home every day. I tell myself, snap out of it. Because if you was to drop dead right now, because of the stress that you're allowing to overwhelm you, you know what I'm saying? Physically, a lot of people see the physical. That's the first world. But the second world is so different. It's so different. And so, again, remain kind. Don't ever change that, because it can go, like the Lyft driver told me. He said, what do I hate about myself? I said, I hate being kind. He said, well, do me a favor and remain kind. Remain kind. Don't ever change that. I need to emotionally let go. Yes, I do. Physically, I'm like, yeah. But emotionally, oh no, baby. No. And that's why I have to emotionally let go. And I'm working on it. And that's what I put in a box right here. Working on it. You know what I'm saying? And stay on course. Definitely. Stay on course. Because this mental health ain't no joke. And that's the reason why I am Provision. Studying and sharing. Chapters 1 and 5. That's all I'm doing. I study in the mornings. And then I get on here and share. And I'm going to sneeze. So, I guess it's not coming. Anyways. Provision. This right here is just sharing with you and showing you the eyes. Okay? These are the eyes. Our eyes is the light. Okay? Our eyes is the light. And so, if you know that your eyes is the light, now, here's a question. What do you see out of these eyes? Your right eye and your left eye. So, in this, I am going to point at my eyes and show you what I see out of it. So, the left eye here, I see worries, pain, love, fight, hate, anger, resentment, and grudge. The right eye, I see success, abundance, determination, overcomer, stronghold, not a giver-upper, self-encourager. And most importantly, forgiver. So, I see in both of these eyes different things. Which eye am I paying more attention to? Is it my left eye or my right eye? I'm seeing here that it's pointing at the left. But then again, I said forgiver. So they're in a tie rim. They're in the tie rim. So really, honestly, I'm headed towards the positivity. And I want to be the right eye. I want to focus on that one. Because that's success, that's abundance, that's determination, overcomer, stronghold, not a giver-upper, and a self-encourager, and a forgiver. So I'm focusing, I am training myself to focus more and more on the right side. Because the left side is just going to do nothing but hold a grudge. And that's what it shows of what I wrote here on this trail. That in that eye here, my light that's on in here is just showing that I'm showing and sharing grudges. You know? And that's not what I want to do. And that's why the mental health and the provision in this program, I am working on these things. Pretty much what I did in this program was build and invited people in. So I'm training. I'm in training. And so I'm training myself up somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And so as I'm training myself up somewhere, I am showing you what I do at my house when it comes to mental health. Because you have to find other things to do besides drinking, smoking, and having intercourse. Because have you ever thought about it? When you drink, does it bring sorrows with it? When you smoke, does it bring some sorrows with it? What are you thinking about when you're smoking? What are you thinking about when you're drinking? And most importantly, when you're in a bed, does it bring any sorrows with it? Whatever you're in right now, I want you to think about it. Just think. Does it bring any sorrows? Is the question. Do you find yourself crying at nights? Do you find yourself overly stressed out? Miss Clay used to tell me, she says, what are the feelings are you feeling in this room? Well, she's right. And she used to say, no tissues until you're fully done crying. She's right, because you have to think about this. Think about it. What sorrows have this brought to you? And if it's bringing some sorrows, that's not of God. Because God said that He will give you riches without no sorrows. So if it's bringing some sorrows to you, that's not of God. Okay? So we have to figure out what we can do to help you release this thing. Because emotionally, you're going to always be stuck there because it's hurt, it's trauma. It's something to where it really emotionally took a toll on you. So even though you physically then move on and you physically it's done, but emotionally in your vision, bored in your eyes, you are seeing this. So don't disregard the fact that you see these things. Don't disown yourself and your feelings. Do not let yourself go. Because in this program, I feel a relief every time I do it. So I'm like, maybe I've been called to do this. Who knows? But in this though, I am seeing to where although your emotions are taking a toll on you, find ways to limit the stress. It's not easy to move forward. It's not. I just showed you 12 books. That's not easy. Anybody that tells you to move forward or move on from it, it happened years ago. It still takes time. So emotionally you're stuck. And there's some things that you may have to do to confront the person. And if you already confronted them and they didn't talk to you about it, or they don't feel like they did it wrong, or they're leaving the problem unsolved and it's really messing up your mental health, go write about it. Write it. And you know what? Draw them out. Even if you can't draw, I'm telling you, draw these people out and then you write to them and you're going to feel like you really talked to them. Seriously. And then eventually, whenever time you start seeing the stuff happening to you, you can finally move on. But emotionally, it's going to always be there. But remember, provision. It's there to warn you to be careful for next time. That is just a lesson. Okay? That's just a lesson. A lesson that comes with a blessing. When you think about the people who hurt you, you need to look at what they did to help you get farther. For me, it's a lot of things that these people who've hurt me helped me get farther in my life. How about the fact is I'm taking better care of me? You notice that I didn't say nothing materialistic because these people helped me do this. These people help me share with other people about mental health. These people helped me do what actually I was called to be. They helped me in regards of taking better care of myself so that I know I cannot go that way. I can't look back because I'm not going that way. So even though I might be talking to these people still, communicating with them, but there's no chances of us ever getting that close again because they caused a lot of mental health issues to where I was in a hospital. And it wasn't for mental health, it was for the body. And I found out that I had pneumonia. But I never told anybody. And they gave me medicine and I walked out. But now I'm telling everybody now. But I did have pneumonia. And my kids, they're like, mom's getting sick, but she don't look like it. And the doctors, they came in when I came in there because I told them I'm not feeling well. And when I went to this hospital, it was so funny because they're like, you look really good. And then when they checked my body, they're like, oh girl, you're dead. You're sick. Oh my God. So don't let them parents of others fool you. Okay? So now here's me, and I'm telling you everything that I had went through and still am to this day of me being sick and still making sure that I take care of what I got to take care of. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, my dad had passed away and everything. And so I didn't have transportation. And I'm sitting here walking pretty much dead because I had pneumonia. And so I'm sitting there, still doing what I'm doing. It ain't feel not a thing. I was cool. I said I was cool. And I'm smiling now. But them doctors, oh, you should have looked at their face. You need to stay home. That's not good. And I'm like, it's okay. Poof, there it is. I still was working. It was just that I came from a family to where, especially my dad, even when we weren't not feeling well, we had to work. And we put on our smiles and we kept going. And so that's not good though, because emotionally, if you turned and took off my face, you'd be like, oh, that is so dark. Oh my God. Yeah, because I was in that situation and I didn't even look at it. This TV show is definitely good for me. And I'm glad that someone told me, since you're in your situation, there's some productive things that you can do. How about you go ahead and tell your story and tell them about how you felt about your dad and start bringing your stories to life in another level. And after a while, it took me a while to do this in the provision. But I was doing it on Facebook for so long. I was. And after a while, something said, go to YouTube. And this was a stranger person. And God said sometimes when you're talking to strangers, you're actually entertaining angels. So know that although it may not look like nothing is never going to end, that everything is still going to be the same. That people are going to still pick on you. People are going to still talk about you. That people are going to look at you like you're nothing. But that's not of God. God doesn't want you to look at what is going horrible. He wants you to see his love. Someone always come, a strange woman. I'm telling you, a lot of strange people come to me. And conversations, physical world. And Jennifer is her name. And she comes knocking at the door, and she's a Jehovah's Witness. And we believe different things. But she comes knocking at the door. And she talked to me, and she told me, what do you think that God's going to bring when he finally reveals himself And I told her, I said, honestly, I believe that God's going to bring his love, because a lot of people are not seeing that he brought his love. When his son came down here and died, and no one ever seen God because he created this whole entire world. You'll see the son, but you won't see God. So the thing about it is that when he came and he died on that cross, a lot of people didn't see that someone loved him enough to die. It's just like Martin Luther King. He had a dream that everybody can get together, but also follow their dreams. But a lot of people are looking at what we don't have versus what we do have. A lot of people don't see where we're free at, but they're not seeing that we still got a roof over our head, and that we're eating still, and that we're still here and alive, and that we're breathing. A lot of people are not seeing that. I always think about this. Why do we see bad things first before we see the good? I always thought about that. I remember one of my friends, he says to me, when you die, they don't even got to worry about you, honestly, because you're finna go up there and ask a whole lot of questions. You finna go to Jesus and tell Jesus all types of stuff. Like, you finna ask him all types of questions. He said, I see it. We ain't got to worry about you because you about to go up there and ask him all types of questions. And I said, that's about true. That is true. He said, you going to tell him, now, why is the city like this? And why is that like that? And I learned this. And why this? Why, and why? And that's true. That's true. That's about true. But in this, though, provision. We think about what we need, right? We all need something. But what are you willing to do to get it? What are you willing to sacrifice to make sure you have it? I sacrificed a lot, and it cost me my finance. And it was just to make sure my family was okay. Every day I think about it, and I say, man, you really loved a lot of people, and you sacrificed a lot. And some people you had to close the door on, and it was not because you wanted to, it was because you had to, because you were going into the hospital too. A lot of people didn't know that Quayla was walking in the hospital. You won't see Quayla in the hospital. You see Quayla in the hospital, something wrong. But I was. And that was in the year of 2017. It was. And 2017, before I broke my hand, you know what I'm saying? Because I got in the car. Well, one of the family members hit a train. And so when they hit that train, everybody in there got hurt. But before that, months before that, that's when I found out, I was getting sick. And then I went to that doctor's with my children, and it looked like, you look good. But then when he checked my body, he was like, no, you ain't doing too good. And so I just want to kind of talk more and more about this provision, because we don't really realize the miracles of what God's brought to us and what God has done for us. We look at where we're at, where we live, what we don't have, or what we should have. We look at the materialistic things, and we're not looking at his love for us. He's brought us a better life, and we're not even looking at that. I always wondered, why don't we look at that? Why don't we look at the fact that God brought us into this earth for us to enjoy our lives? Why do we attack each other? Why do we blame each other for everything? Why do we always want to fight? Why are we so jealous? Why do we put each other down? Why do we do these things? Why do we betray each other? Why do we do things behind each other's back? Why do we always got to find something wrong with each other? Why? Why can't we just be happy? I have so many questions, like provision. Why do we waste our time? There's time that we could have spent, and we waste our time fighting. If you think about all the time we wasted, if one of us dropped dead again, what are we going to do now? It's not about going back to the person and getting hurt again. No. But it's about the fact is, if the person get hurt to where they're dead, that's another person that just dropped dead. And you waste that time screaming, yelling, cursing, talking. And most importantly, you wasted the time to where you don't even know what's going on with them. And you don't even care. But when you get a phone call stating they are no longer on earth no more, now you care. Why? Oh my God. Why does it have to take this long for people to wake up? It has to take someone to say, I died. They died. They're not even here no more. They're not on earth. Now you want to feel bad. Now you want to feel like you care. So you spent all this time. Now you want to care. Now you want to start helping. Now you want to wake up. The times they called you, you didn't ignore it. The times they tried to get in contact with you, you didn't ignore it. The times they wanted to spend time with you, you pushed them away. All those times, precious times they wanted to spend with you, you pressing the end button and ignoring them, and then you wait until they're dead. And then now you're sitting there with guilt, depression, suicidal thoughts, all types of things because they died. Why? The feeling of being overworked, when you got non-workers doing nothing and you got one worker doing everything, and then one day the worker can't do it. She collapsed. Everybody's full of confusion because this worker's been working for so long, and then now she dies. The main source had passed away, but now there's a possibility if she doesn't get her mental health together. You know what I'm saying? Can't play with death, but it's true. When your mental health is not right, and you said in yourself, when you tell yourself you don't want to be here, you don't want to be here, it's going to really happen. And when you close your eyes, once you finally close your eyes and you're not just going to sleep, you're really going to die, that's it. That's the end of you. And so you have to think about it before you're saying that. Because once you close your eyes, there ain't no coming back. Have you ever seen the life flow out of somebody and you can't help them? Their life is squeezing out of them, and all you can do is watch them die. And you're calling for help, but they take too long to get them, and they died. No, I'm not mentally there. But every day, I'm fighting for my life. My health is not there. My mental health is not nowhere near where it should be. And I had 3 counselors. And I just became my own. I just became my own. So, me becoming my own encourager to make sure that I walk past this of seeing a loved one being squeezed with a heart attack. His heart is under attack, and I'm trying to get him. All these people are pulling me to get him, and I can't. So I'm calling 911. Ambulance finally comes, and he's gone. He's dead. Then you have another parent. She dies. Then she comes back to life. All I'm saying is we waste time expecting everybody to do something. And when it doesn't go as planned, we don't have a plan. So now I created my own plan. So when something doesn't go right, I got a backup plan. I got something to back me up so that I am not out here. I'm not out here drowning with my babies. That was scary because of what people see or feel about you. And they don't know how to communicate with you. They're so angry with you. They're belittling you. They're looking at you like you're nothing. But they're not knowing that if they don't stop this, they're messing up your mental health. They didn't know I was in the hospital. Some of them did. They still didn't get a passing thought. But what happens next time when I get in the hospital? And this time, it's longer than usual. This time, I'm on a breathing machine. This time, I'm pronounced dead. Yeah, it's a little bit of chilly stuff going on, right? But ever since I saw a loved one drop dead in my eyes and saw his life flow in front of me, he had me think about faith because he had so much of that in me. But also, he had me think about the fact is, if I die, I'm going to be dying because of the words that were said. And they would never even know that Marquela was just overly holding the words that we told her. And she died because of us. And sometimes we don't realize that, telling someone that they can't talk or telling someone this and that or whatever you're telling them. You got to be careful with your tongue because words do hurt. They hurt, they kill, and they steal, and they destroy. Those words kill, steal, and destroy. They can kill you. When you love someone and they ignore you. When you love someone and they just leave you hanging without even communicating with you on a level so you can at least leave your peace here. Hold your peace together. But no, you always got to be the one to make sure your lunch is packed, to make sure your food is packed, make sure everything is packed, make sure you do all things, and then everybody else got to be done too. So you're picking up yourself and you're making sure everybody else is done too. That's not fair. And so that's why Marquela, the life speaker, where we help cure those hearts, her storytellings are a provision of what she's talking about in her reality. she's literally fighting for her life right now. Waking up in the middle of the night, sometimes having to stay up because she's too hot, and there's a lot of stuff that she has to do, not in regards of just the babies, but for herself as well, to keep up with her health. And so yet alone having to pick up herself, make sure her brain is okay, make sure she's okay in general, you know what I'm saying? Then having to get those two ready, make sure they're good. That's hard because there's no one there on your behalf. You feel them physically, you feel them emotionally, but waking up and you don't even know one day, because of your health problem too, you don't know one day if you're going to wake up. And there's nobody to really tap you but the two in here. So that could be scary as well, living on your own, and you have your own little health problems too. But look at you. Every day, the fear of you being alone, because you know that you had this problem. When I was little, I remember I was underneath the water tub. You know what I'm saying? Because I had the seizure and I dropped in that tub, and it was too hot. I don't know what was going on, but I was underneath that water. And I just remember waking up in the hospital wondering how I get in here, And so that's the reason why. And I was literally shut down for a minute with the seizure. And all to find out the seizure came from stress. Really. And that's what I'm finding out right now, that these seizures are coming from overly stress. And it shakes your body because your inside in the mental health, it needs to be trained well. So you can't just be working all day. You can't. If you're going to work all day, at least do something to where it's helping you in the mind too. It's okay to physically make sure you pay your bills and do what you got to do. But you still got to make sure your mental health is there. And so that's why I'm more for the mental health. I want to help cure those brains, cure those hearts, really share with people about how serious the health is. It's so serious because some of us, yes, that is another problem too. Workaholics. We only work and we pick up on extra hours too because we're stressed. And sometimes that overworking could take a toll too. So I had a lot of problems in general. But then when I let one job go, there was millions of reasons why I let them go. My daughter's school continued to call me. And so I was just finding some way to say goodbye. Really. And sometimes when you quit something, you really know at that moment you shouldn't, because you're supposed to work your way higher, not low. But because of things that was happening with your child, you had to do what you had to do. See, a lot of people are seeing all my items, but I'm seeing somebody that's fighting for her mental health. It's not about, oh man, she looks better than her children, or she looks this and that, and her children looking like that, or why she not doing this, and why she not whoop whoop. No, she's actually trying her best to get her kids together, yet alone trying to get herself together. Explaining yourself to someone is like talking to a wall that doesn't exist, because they don't understand it. But they will understand it when they see you in the hospital somewhere. They will. Because now they're looking at, man, Marquella got all these needles, all this, what the heck? Because I'm never sick. I'm never sick. Barely. If you see me sick, severely, something's wrong. But see, people look at your face and think that you are just some type of warrior, queen, or whatever. People look at me and see some type of, I don't know, but whatever they seeing, I wish I could take my face off and they would run. Because they'll be like, oh, that is definitely, she ain't doing too good. But I wanted to kind of talk more about the provision. We all need to look at that. These people who passed on, they left us something, okay? And every single one of them left a gift behind their death. And why are we forgetting that? We're looking at their death more than we're looking at the gifts that they left behind. My dad left faith. The man had so much faith in me, and he never looked down upon me. So if you're looking and you're thinking about your deceased loved one, make sure you just look at the fact that they left something behind. What did they help you to improve in your life? And don't be discouraged, because your loved one will always be there for you. Literally. Always. My dad used to tell me his home was mine. And he meant that. Because every now and then, every time I see my dad in my dreams, I always call it visitation from the heavens. I always call it that. Because I wake up right after he came and saw me. So I say, my dad is seeing me. That is a visitation from the heavens. And so I am now working forth, because a lot of people got tired of hearing me talk about his death. But now it feels good to be able to now get on live and do video recording about how I really feel about myself in general. I used to feel like I'm not worth nothing. I used to feel less than. I used to belittle myself. I used to hit on myself in front of my parents and my kids. I used to get shoes and hit it in my face. I used to cut myself in front of my little brother before I even had kids. I used to do a lot of stuff that caused maybe my little brother the way he is now, because I used to do some things to myself that scared him. And he would come in the room and he would catch me trying to really do suicide. And one day when he saw me cut myself, I was actually bleeding. So I'm serious when I talk about suicidal. I was that. And I'm a suicidal survivor. When my dad died, it was definitely dangerous for me to be in the house alone. I shouldn't have been in the house alone. But my children, I was actually still kind of crazy a little bit, because I would get in the shower and try to choke myself, or get the pillows and try to smuggle myself. It was a lot of stuff going on in there. Yeah, they were not supposed to be with me. They could have got severely taken away from me because of my mental health. But my babies were still there. They were still with me, and there was nothing that I can do but get myself together and stop all this nonsense and snap out of it and stop that, because I'm not teaching them correct. And so as my daughter, my oldest child, started doing all this stuff, and I didn't realize that they really do follow you. So she's like, Mommy do this, so so she started doing everything that I was doing, and I was like, oh Lord. And now she is getting so much better now. She's starting to come in with smiles and starting to say, Mom, I'm going to try to do good every day. And she's starting to now get herself together, because of the program with the behavior class, I made it for all of us to do. I did all these different things so that I won't even think about killing myself. Because when you have your mind set on something, you know, it could really happen. So all these things that I'm sharing is because I want people to know that your life matters. And I had this suicidal thing way before my dad was pronounced dead. Now, I had it before I had my children. I had this problem right when I entered high school. A lot of insecurities. And so my little brother had to go through a lot with me. He had to go through a lot. My little brother is probably the main one that witnessed all this stuff. And it was sad. It was so sad because I was under the influence to where he could have lost his sister. But that little note that he wrote me that we found, him praying that I get out of that dark area in my life. Here I am, 24 years old, out of this dark area. It's not as dark. The clouds are starting to move. And I'm thank God for those clouds moving. Shout out to my little brother. He's came a long way. Definitely came a long way. Sometimes you just don't realize what you put others through, you know, and why they are the way they are, and why they want to kill everybody in the house. Well, that's understandable why I would want to kill. You know, he's like, I want to kill everybody. Well, that's why he want to kill everybody, because everybody got on his nerves in their house. See, no one knows what's going on in the inside. They're only looking at the outside. But now everybody knows about Marquela Light Speaker, where we help cure those hearts. Because her stories are definitely them stories where you be like, wow, you get me chills, all this stuff. Oh, Lord, it's just too deep. That's why people say go on YouTube. You could be all deep, all whatever. You could be explosive. But some stuff I need to be careful because baby girl do watch this. But in this, though, in my series, I want to thank those who took the time to watch my videos, took the time to subscribe to channels, and again, I'll be back on tomorrow, and we got something else to talk about, like always, and continue the provision in your life. What do you want to be when you grow up? We already grew up, but in this, what do you want to do? Where do you see yourself going? Because I just left a whole legacy. So if I was to go right now, we have all these videos left of Marquela. You know, and she talks a lot. So when you click those videos, it's going to be like something to where Marquela's still here. That's Marquela. Like, you'll never forget me. I'm never forgotten. And that's why I love that I came up with this. It was like a remembrance of me. You know what I'm saying? And what I visioned. Because I remember telling a lot of family members that I didn't want to be like my dad. My dad was such a hardworking man. But I wanted to be more than that when I passed away. I wanted to be on some cool stuff like, man, this girl was crazy on her YouTube channels. This girl, and more than that, I wanted to be something different. I wanted to leave a legacy, a huge one, to where they're like, this girl was fighting. I want to be like that. I want to be like, you know what? She was more than a hard-working woman. She was more than just a single mother of two. She was more than that. That girl was just a an inspirational person to where she fought to get where she's at. And it's so funny because I was telling him, no, Dad was a hardworking man, and he spent most of his time taking care of us. And he made sure that we had everything that we need. And that's his main goal, was family oriented. And that's really great. Like, my dad was such a cool guy. But I want to be even more cooler. I want to be the type of person to do what I just did. You know? So when I pass, they got all of this. You know what I'm saying? You guys got a whole series of Marquay Little Light Speaker where we help cure those hearts. And you could just hear her. And you will know that there was really someone out there who cares. Because when you see 172 videos, more than that, how about beating the record of 300 videos? And the girls up here every day, you guys are never going to forget me. And so this is really cool. I'm never forgotten. It's more than a Facebook page. I created a whole new world. So congratulations to my provision. I'm proud of this provision because this provision is something to where I always wanted to do. And I created my own dresses, and I want to share it, you know. That dress still sitting here, you know. It's still sitting here. My own little dress and Marquay Little Light Speaker. Like, I literally left a legacy. And one day my daughters can put it in something and be like, Mom left a dress for us. This is my mom's dress. Like, she left her name everywhere. Like, my mom really was not playing. And there's the other dress too. Right here. You know, the other second dress is cut off, but got two dresses. Look, it'll be like, Mom got her two dresses, and wow. So, in this, you know, that was my provision. That's definitely my provision. And I plan on my provision to keep visioning in my life and not giving up, you know, knowing that when God said he wasn't going to leave me, I didn't fully let myself go. I never really did, because physically I kept going. It's just that emotional, that mental health. And that's why Marquay Little Light Speaker, we help cure those hearts, came about, because that girl was going through things way before she had her children. You know, way before I had my kids. Way before they were even on earth. I can say these children really are the reason why I'm alive. To be, I ain't gonna lie. Them children are like a huge responsibility to me, to where I got to live. But if it wasn't for them too being here, who knows where I would have been by now. For real. So God put me into safety. You know, it doesn't matter about I wasn't married or whatever. When those babies came and I had to be left alone, I wasn't fully alone. I had two children who brought joy in my heart. So when I was at my worst, I still had someone over me, someone underneath me. So it's like me laying down in depressed mode, but two little ones are now picking me up and helping me get back up. You know what I'm saying? And it's like something so little can be so huge. And that's why children can bring a a whole man. But sometimes, even if you don't have no kids, following your dreams, following your goals and your plans, it feels like a precious possession to you, and you can call it yours when you're doing something that you always wanted to do. Provision. Follow your dreams and do something that you never thought you would do. And continue to keep going, because you never know who might really see this. You don't know who's coming. My daughter is so funny. She says, "Mom, you keep it up with them videos. We might be out this house even sooner." So she's loving it. She loves that I am doing this, because she was talking about it and she's like, "Mom, you keep doing those videos because you might really hit something now, Mama. We might really be okay now." Look. So in this though, definitely 2 days in a row, we know that this video has been longer than usual. That's how I know this program was meant for me. It was meant for me. And when you know something is meant for you, there's no going back, because you know it was meant for you. And only you. Anyways, thank you for watching Marquetta the Life Speaker, where we help cure those hearts.